Three WVST. This is Soul Logistic Radio Show. Hannibal Smith and the Cool Kids holding it down. Got the minister information. The straw that stirs the drink. The movie critic, Fat Tommy, what's popping, yo?
What's going on, Doug Evans? What's happening, universe?
Look like you a spy, man. What you like a Congress spy type? That like, or like you a agent, like you protecting the president or something. What's going on with you today?
What happens is we need to show everybody that we too can wear suits. You know, we grown men. We know how to put on clothes like grown men. And I know the youth used to seeing us with baseball caps and shorts and sneakers and stuff. But I guess we do need to set some examples. So I thought I'd throw a suit on for the show today, and I'll make the universe see what we working with. But look, before we jump into it, there's one thing I want to mention, and that is BRICS. Okay, not bricks of powder, BRICS, which is a new coalition that it stands for Brazil, China, BRI, Indonesia, and so all of them have come together to form. They left NATO, they left the World Bank, and they started their own bank. And so now all the African nations have left too. So it's China, Russia. It's 27 of them, but it's China, Russia, South Africa, Indonesia, Brazil, and then Burkina Faso. You know, I've been talking about Brother Ibrahim. He went over there and joined it. Ethiopia and Ghana are starting to join it. And what's going to happen is they're trying to get the world to go back on the gold standard. So 2 days ago, Donald Trump went on TV and said it's no big deal. But it is a big deal. Because if we go on the gold standard, do you realize America is $1 trillion in debt? What that means when they say our deficit is $1 trillion, that means that we only have enough gold for X amount of dollars. We've overspent by $1 trillion. That's what that means. That means the gold that we have, like if you were a parent like you are and you have money in the bank, right? And you know how the bank lets you go over $300?
Right.
And then you're in the hole $300. So when you get your next check and it goes direct deposit, it'd be missing $300. That's where America is. $1 trillion is what we're behind. So if all these countries go to BRICS and they start going to the gold standard, the only people who ain't over there, America, Canada, England, like everybody else is over there. So I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of tricky for America. That's all. I just want to put that out there and say we all need to look up BRICS, and it's BRICS, and look and start seeing what they're doing.
BRICS?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm just saying all these countries now are coming together, and you got Russia and China, the big dogs, and South Korea. Russia, China, and South Korea are getting down pretty much with the Africans.
Yes.
Just think about that. Africa, they just loaned, China just taught Brother Ibrahim how to build roads in Burkina Faso. So he's building roads, and they just went over and invested in Jamaica. Jamaica's getting all these new roads and airports. None of that's coming from America. All of that is coming from BRICS. So they left the World Bank. So no longer are African nations dealing with the World Bank. And the reason that's important is because if they left the World Bank, all the natural resources are in Africa. They be saying that, you watch television, they tell you Africa broke, don't have nothing. But what they have is all the minerals. Like Burkina Faso left, right? So when he left the World Bank, Donald Trump said they're going to be in trouble. Then last month, they were digging a road and found 400 tons of gold. They said what could be the largest gold reserve. They was just digging and found gold. So it's like, yo, with these countries lining up and saying the world should be on the gold standard, our dollar is going to get very tricky here in a minute. So we all need to be prepared for that.
That was some great information. Speaking about coming together, it's rumors, it hasn't been confirmed that they possibly hip hop super group Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Karis One, and Cool G Rap. And it's a surge right now with classic hip hop. Now, all the people that's on these other waves, now we stood fast with our type of conscious hip hop and soul music from the beginning. I don't want everybody jumping the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? 91.3 WVSC and the Soul Logistics Radio Show been holding it down. My question to you, what would be the pros of this super group and what would be some of the cons? I'm going to just jump out there and saying, production wise, if we get the right production, it's going to be crazy. And I got 3 producers that I think can bring this thing home. One is Knots from VA.
I knew you was gonna say Knots. Yep.
Bank from VA, who did the joint for Rick Ross, and I need Swiss Beats for the up tempo joint and hyper up tempo joint. So that's what I'm looking at.
Well, let me say this first. I think it's wonderful that they formed a super group. For all of them brothers to come together, for me and where I sit, it's wonderful. I've been listening to the Wu-Tang Mathematics album, and I think a lot of the I hate calling us old heads, but a lot of the classic dudes are continuing to make music. Artists. Because here's the thing: rock bands, country bands, pop bands, R&B bands, they perform till they 97 years old. I mean, everybody still goes on the road. You know, Michael Jackson performed till the day he was on tour when he passed. So, I mean, why is it that we think rappers are supposed to stop? That's why I think the game is kind of messed up, because what keeps R&B and rock moving forward is the old people still provide, the people who have been in it for the longest with the experience still provide leadership. And see, I think it's you know, me being a conspiracy theorist, it's that the same way they put black people out of the NBA and they just now started making us coaches and keeping us around. You know, Dr. J is still around now. That's the same thing we need in music. We need the hip hop heads that was from the beginning, that laid the foundations, the Rakims, the Big Daddy Kanes, to continue to make music so that the youth, we can't complain about the youth if we're not setting examples. Now we're setting examples. So the pros of this is they can see where it really began, because a lot of the youth don't even know who they are. So because they stopped making music or started going overseas. You know, most of them make all their money in Europe and Japan and all that, and they don't be in the United States, but they still be making. Redman say he ain't never stopped touring. So all of them, but they're overseas doing this. Now they get to see it in America. So that's the pros. The pros is they'll set a roadmap for the youth that are in it now, so that they don't think they only have a 5-year, 10-year career. So people like Andre 3000 don't have to think, I can't rap no more because I don't have anything to say. He got people now showing them that you can rap. All the pros. The cons, it's only one con for me. Or it's only one con for me. The con for me is the youth. Like, if you're gonna make this super group, go get one. Just one baby. Just go get like Kendrick Cole, or one we don't even know of, because we need a little youthful energy, or a young producer. I just think that in this super group, for it to really work and be great, to reach its full potential, we need some youth. I was once in the studio with Nelly, right? I was in the studio and Nelly walked in and he said, man, ain't nobody in here under 30. I'm leaving. Y'all need to get some kids in here. How you gonna make a hit record today and everybody's 30 years plus? That's how I feel. Like, you need, even if you don't have them rap, you need them in the studio, because you need that energy and that vibration. Because see, we have all our experiences that we lived with, and sometimes the things that we have affect how we raise our kids or the message that we send. And sometimes that message is skewed by what we saw. The world is very different now. So we need the youth to say, yo, Unc, the world ain't like that. You need to be more, come this way just a little. We just need
but do
somebody
you
to pull
think I feel what you're saying, but I don't feel like that as far as part of the music per se, because I think the problem is right now why they yearning for groups like this, because the youth is not talking about nothing. You can't, usually the music usually coincide what's going on in the world. Like when James Brown was doing his thing, boom. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Boom, in the world. Like we just was talking about what's the change in the world. The young people, we can't relate to somebody talking about their belt buckle or how much their hat costs. But what I would say, the youth can help this super group out as far as like, listen, this is a new way to get your music out. Try these platforms or try this strategy of getting your music out. That way I feel you with the young folks in the room. Hey, try streaming some of these streaming guys.
I just think they definitely need, they don't necessarily need a young guy in the group. I think they definitely need a young guy in the room. the
Okay,
youth in the room, because the same way, listen, let's go back. Remember when rappers were doing, they were young, guess what? It was an old man in the room saying, hey, youngin, when you go in the booth, if you do this, if you memorize your lyrics, you'll save time as opposed to writing them while you're in here. You know, go in there. That's what old people, they had a little bit of wisdom. The youth is the same way. You know, you have really, really old people, then they need a really, really young person to say, yo, you need to, because too many old people, they'll go in there and try to record on tape. You know what I'm saying? All them dudes, they be in there with half-inch tape
right.
and
And yeah,
starting to
the young guy would say, you know, you could do this with your phone, right? You know, you could.
right. See, that's it. And then that energy. See, I'm not trying to get the youth to tell them what to say. I'm
Okay,
just trying to get them to be in the room, because then you suck up that energy, and then you kind of, you start feeling a little them. So then you can present the message, and it will resonate with them because
got you.
they in there. And then the other thing is, while they're rapping, when they look out there and none of the kids is bobbing to it, because in the studio people be reading the room. So if you have some youth in the studio, when they not bobbing, they can come out and say, what's the deal? And they'll be like, yo, maybe you should, I see what you're saying, but why don't you say it like this? Or I see what the
Okay,
beat is doing, but maybe we should add the bass like this. Just to have them not try to control it, just to give them some interaction, because they're going to bring something to the table. And for me, the biggest thing is bridging the gap in generations. The biggest problem that I think we have as a people is everything that we do is divisive. When we watch sports, it's Michael Jordan or LeBron. It's not both. That's just making me and my son argue. It's
mm,
Michael Jackson or Drake. I mean Kendrick or Drake. That's just making me and my son argue, when we could really be having both. We could like Kendrick and we could like Drake. We could
right,
like LeBron and we could like. So
right.
this allow the adults, the chaos ones in them, to be able to talk to the youth and see that we
Well,
can
where,
actually
where do you think that
communicate.
energy come from? Because it didn't come from us. Because like we talked about last week, if I'm chilling with my parents and they playing Al Green, I didn't say that's old music. I was like, oh, that's Al Green. You know what I mean? We didn't come from that. So where do you think that energy come from?
It comes from us not slapping our children. See, if you would have walked in the room and said to your mama, that I'm not listening to that old junk, that's payow. That's that's what you would have, blow. You'd have been like, woo, I shouldn't say it like that. We just say, get
She
on out
take
of here
she
with that,
take
because
Al Green serious.
right. After that, he would play Al Green. You come in the house the next day, and Al Green would be on. See, we didn't want to do that to our children, and I think the way we were raised and the way society brought us up. Listen, the
But I
media,
just I just thought we thought it was good music too. Like this joint kind of banging. I kind of like it. You
yes,
know.
but listen, the media has made our children believe they can be independent, free thinkers, and we went with it. And they should be, to the point of understanding. Like, you could be a free thinker, but you're not allowed to say my music is terrible. You're allowed to say I don't like it, but we were made to listen to it and vibrate with it. Because I listen to Stevie Wonder songs to the Key of Life, which I think is the greatest album of all time. When I listen to that, it still resonates today. And the vibration is different. And because they're not getting that vibration, think about this, for the last, since 1990, we'll call it 95, the vibration of music, especially hip hop, has been resonating towards violence and drugs. But that's not our community. The music really doesn't match the community, because I don't
Mm.
see Sexy Red as prevalent in Petersburg. Like, when I'm outside, I don't see 9 million Sexy Reds. I don't see a bunch of people acting like that. Girls not really running around acting like that. When I go outside, everybody's not drinking lean. I ain't even seen no lean in Petersburg.
Mm.
People aren't doing it. So the things that they're rapping about is topics that someone else is telling them to rap about. Because I'm of the impression now that if it's not real in my uh, um, circle, then it's not real. For example, when they say that we all killing each other, well, I don't know, but one person, now two people that killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? When they say we're all on crack, I don't know nobody that's selling or doing crack. So these are things that the media and big television and these power brokers are telling us, and we're absorbing it. And our kids are really absorbing it. Like, it's so funny that they can tell us what's fake on TikTok and what's AI, but then when news comes out and we tell them to watch out for this, they go, "Nah, I ain't worried about that." But no, you should be, and that's what television and
But
modern media.
could it be just like when we was in school? the kid that was acting up got all the attention. Now is 20 more kids in the class that's doing what they're supposed to do, but that one class clown that's acting crazy gets all the attention. And that's the same way. It's just like the events that we do. Um, all the events, hey, let me knock on wood or whatever. We haven't had no incident at our events. Now, if somebody would have got stabbed or a big fight would have broke out, the paper, the news, everybody would have been there. So
Yes, and then this year's event would have blew up. So this year we should stab someone at our Juneteenth celebration, and next year watch
no,
how full it's gonna be packed.
right?
Man, okay,
That's
look.
crazy.
Tell me if this is true or not. It's a fighting or shooting at the club. The next week, is it full or empty? Okay, see? Exactly. That is my point. It's full. So negative energy travels faster than positive energy. All these guys coming together is a positive thing. The question is, can we get it to travel as fast as negative energy? Like me and you gonna like it, but are they gonna affect the world? Because see, when me and you listened to Al Green, he was already grown. It was already supposed to be old school music, but we were listening to it. Even when we listened to Stevie Wonder. Conversation Piece, that was 80. Stevie Wonder was like 20 albums deep when he put that out.
Mm,
These were all considered to be old guys, but we still appreciated the music. I think the real deal is it's the lack of appreciation for our generation. This
oh,
generation has been solely disconnected from their parents. And so that's why I think this is a positive, because this can perhaps bring us back together some kind of way. We aren't as connected. When I say we, I include myself. I'm not as connected to my son as I would like to be. It's something there. So I call and talk to him. I'm on just so my son will have conversation with me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't start agreeing that LeBron is great, my son will be like, Dad. So I'm trying to meet him where he's at. And I think that this music, we got to try to get our children to meet us where we're at. We can't constantly just be pulling a hand down. They got to put a hand up to try to come to our level. And that's what I think this group will do. I think this group will show, because we're going to talk about it. What I hope, though, I really hope that doesn't become to be more hype than music. I do not want them to go in there and do an album that me and you go, man,
right.
coulda, woulda, shoulda did this. Like, but I don't think they can. You talking about Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Cal. You got the best of the best. There's no way. What they really need is the best production. They really need
Right.
to get with the right producers. And I'm telling you, if they get with the right producers and again,
So
some youth.
so to cap this off, I name my three producers: Knots, Bink, and Swiss Beats. Give me three producers you think would bring this home for the guys. You can put some young guy in there if you want to.
Um, I think I would like to see the dude who produced Kendrick Lamar's album, Top Dog Entertainment, whoever the producer is that's done Kendrick's albums, because his albums, the beats are jazzy, and I think the guys our audience, our rappers can feel and catch the vibration of the
So
music. So I
you
think
you want to hear Big Daddy Kane and Karis One on a jazz and Coogee rap on a jazzy. I think Rakim could do that, but you want to hear Coogee rap on a jazzy beat.
wait a minute, Not Like Us wasn't jazzy. I said he has a good blend.
I
They
didn't like that beat, man.
I like the Not Like Us beat. I
I
liked it.
know, I know, I might get some mail about this, but I
Well,
didn't really care about
you
that.
don't have to like everything, but you typically don't like what the rest of the world likes. You
Okay,
typically
so give
are
me give me two more. Give me two more
um
producers.
as crazy as this seems, I think I'd like to see Dr. Dre on there. Um
Ooh, wee.
I'd
Okay.
like to see Dre. Um and then the real challenge is I like Organized Noise, but Rico Wade is no longer with us. So it won't be the full, but I'd like to see Organized Noise. I think Organized Noise, or Pharrell. Pharrell needed. You know who would really be dope? Yeezy, man. Bring Kanye back and tell him don't rap, just produce, baby. Kanye, man. That's who it is. Look, here go my three.
Yeah, hey,
Kanye.
listen, hey, funny you said that, but that would bring the young youth and
Yes.
they right.
I think they should have put him in the group because the college
He
dropout.
acting too kind of. He might just take it. He might take it to just saying crazy stuff.
Now, you know what? I
I
think
don't know about that,
here's
Faison.
he's bipolar, right? But here's what I know about bipolar people, right? They try to hold it together. So he'll be in there with the people he respect, because I would dare to
Well,
say he
well,
respect all of them.
he already did the classic joint with him. He's on the Nas, Karis One, and Rakim. Kanye West is on that song with Nas and them.
I want him to produce. I mean, they can let him rap and then cut him out if they have to, but they should let him produce, because the production, I think, will be insane.
That's a good. So you saying Kanye West, Dr. Dre, and my man. Well, DJ Mustard did the Kendrick joint, but not
Yeah,
like
Mustard
us.
on
But
the
you
beat.
talk not bad.
I think Mustard would be good. And here's the clincher. They need to get Jay-Z and Puff to A&R it. Cause y'all say what y'all want to say. Them dudes
Huh?
pick the best records and the best
Huh?
beats. Yeah, man, they picked who picks better beats than Jay-Z and Puffy? Tell me.
I said Jay-Z and Rick Ross. Rick Ross picked some nice
Oh,
beats.
yeah, but Rick Ross got with Puffy. He was signed over there, remember?
Yeah,
He was at
yeah.
Bad Boy South. I mean, them. Just put them in that little clique. They should be listening to beats
But
and saying,
you don't think that some people, if they grab Puff, they be like, well, I'm not gonna support it because this. Because listen, I don't know if you noticed, but somebody want to respond when you said you was gonna attend Puffy's all white party. They was like, why would you attend a party of a woman abuser?
well, and this would be my answer. Number one, Puffy was not convicted of abusing women. Yes, I saw it. I absolutely saw it. But if we all look at our families, whoever sent that comment, why do you still go to your cousin's house at Thanksgiving when you know he slapped your niece 2 weeks ago? Like you know it. I mean, Doug, this happens. I don't know that he's an everyday abuser. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. They showed me one
And
clip. One
they did say they chopped CNN chopped the tape up, so
They
she could
showed
have.
me a 15-second clip of a
Right.
man's whole life, and the whole world judged him on those 15 seconds. Now, listen, I'm not a Puff supporter, nor am I a supporter of domestic abuse. I think it's all wrong, and with my daughter, I'd be totally pissed. But in most of these instances, the girls go along to get along, and the father be going, "Get away from him, get away
Mm,
from him, come on
mm.
home." My daughter is one of them. Not my youngest. My daughter is 33. I had to go to Texas, get away from him, get away from him. She still talk to her baby daddy. She still run around there. So we can't get into domestic. What I would say is this. Puff don't have to be out front. I'm just saying bring him in the room because you need his ear.
I don't know. I just don't know if we need that backlash.
No, we don't need it. We don't even need him on the tape or nothing. See, this is when they just throw the party and he just show up. And they don't nobody know he there. He just
Okay.
in the room listening. We ain't got to put him on front. You remember we used to do stuff quiet.
Okay.
Everybody ain't have to be out front. That's why. Look, remember we had ghostwriters, but nobody knew. You know why? Because everybody now.
Right.
So the man show up. We ain't be running around. Oh, Puff was there. No, that's not how you do that.
Right.
You don't tell nobody that's in there. You don't give
Okay.
away the secret sauce. You don't let nobody know that they was in there. You just do it and move on. That's all I'm saying, because we listen, the art form is ours. The problem with the art form is that people who aren't like us are deciding what's music. That's really what it is. You got a bunch of old dudes who are not in the culture deciding what's hot and what's not. The difference between Jay-Z and Puff, we could say whatever we want to say about them. They are entrenched in the culture. They know what's hot for the culture. Now, do they abuse it? I don't know. Yes, no. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. The jury apparently felt like Cassie was going along with it. I mean, what about the fact that she was texting him saying, "Ooh, can we have one of those freak offs tonight?" So I mean,
How
we can
about she
all
was
be
having
mad,
free? How she was having free calls without him?
right? So I mean, we can't judge on what the media tells us. If we weren't there, then we need to stop short of judging people. The same treatment that I give Kanye, the same treatment that I give Kyrie Irving, they can't give me a 1 minute clip about a black man and then I'm supposed to ostracize them for life because they told me they don't get to pick who our heroes are. When we was coming up, when we was grown, TV didn't tell us who our hero was.
True.
Because if they did, we wouldn't support Minister Farrakhan. We would not support Jesse Jackson. We would not support none of the Black Panthers.
Khalid Muhammad.
We would not support nothing that's good for us. Because everything that's good for us, they told us was bad. And
Boom.
everything they told us that was bad for us turned out to be good. And
Woo.
everything they told us we didn't do, We really did. And
Because
everything we did do,
they didn't support Muhammad Ali.
none of look, you can't think of one person they supported. One person we consider our hero, you can't see that they supported. Muhammad Ali, he had to die before they showed him recognition. Minister Farrakhan.
Harriet Tubman, they didn't like her. They didn't
Look,
like Demar Vesey. They
hold
didn't
it,
like him. They
hold it.
didn't like Malcolm
They
X. They didn't
killed
like him.
Jesus. Jesus the Christ. They didn't like him. They took him and beat him and nailed him to a cross. These were Romans. The Romans and the Jewish establishment of the time took a freedom fighter, one of our most religious characters in history, and nailed him to a cross. And you want me to listen to them? That's what you
Mm,
want. You want me to listen to those people. So we
mm.
need to have a mind of our own and decide, because he may deserve to be put out. He may deserve to be canceled. But we can't go on a 1 minute clip and think just because they told us that. I mean, if you talk to all the people, listen, I'm the one person who's been around Puff, and I was around him. Fortunately, I never seen none of this stuff. I never seen him drug anybody. And I told y'all before, I don't necessarily trust a brother who's seen somebody drug somebody and then 10 years later start talking about, well, I seen him drug him. That's
Right.
like, so, so,
I'm with you.
so A was drugging my daughter for 10 years, and
Mm.
now my daughter sues and wins, and now you were there the whole time. You were bigger and badder than Puff by your own admission. Puff ain't got nothing on me. I'll knock him out in the streets. So when he was doing all this, where was the big boy talk, is all I'm
Mm.
saying. So that's when we're gonna judge people and listen to people, because if we were in the hood sitting around and that was one of our daughters, we would say, don't be telling me that junk now. When you was right there, you should have stepped up. You should have stood up, poured the drugs out, and said, yo, he trying to drug y'all.
Right.
Get out of here.
Or be a big bing.
That's what I think. So I don't really listen to people who were there now telling me 20 years later when it's fashionable to talk about Puff. I think if you were strong, you would be talking about him when it's not fashionable. So if this is all of this was truth, then why didn't you tell this truth in 1996 and 1997 and 19 when you knew that he did this to Big? Why didn't the day after Biggie got killed, why didn't you rush and hold a press conference and say, "Man, Puff did this"? Why you wait 20 years? And maybe he has a good reason. I'm just saying that for me, if when I put this in real life, you couldn't come talk to me about the murder of my son and you was there and could have stopped it and didn't. You couldn't tell me about the rape of my daughter when you was there and could have stopped it and didn't. You can't tell me about the drugging of people and you was there and didn't stop it and didn't speak up. Maybe you didn't have the nerve to stop it, but you didn't speak up until 20 years later. And now y'all want me to listen to him? I question that, brother.
All right. Hey, make sure y'all like and share this, man. Subscribe to the channel. Hey, thanks, Fat Tommy.
All righty, peace.
Peace.